Hey folks, welcome back. In this video, we're going to ask the question, do you always have to color inside the lines? And I think that is a very good question. And one of the things that I like to think about when I'm coloring is coloring in the lines works great for, a lot of precision. But if you're looking for something that has a lot of energy, like in this particular fire scene right here, I think coloring outside the lines can make a huge difference. So here's my approach to coloring flames. I'm just going to go in with the lasso tool, and you can see that my selections are not perfect. In fact, they're outside the lines. I'll fill that in, and I'll go ahead and use the magic wand tool to fill some of these guys in. There's no rhyme or reason. This is an organic, elemental object. So now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, the hottest part of this fire is going to be at the bottom. So I'm holding down the Shift key and making some loose selections based on the outlines that I already have. Command J, Command U. That's going to give us that intensity on the fire. And then we'll have some oranges. So again, making that selection for my base color layer. Command J, Command U. We can do a quick grayscale test. Command Y. We can see that we have light, medium, and not dark, but I would say white to light to medium values that are going on here. And there are going to be little areas where I don't have any colors. Let's just go ahead and fix that. And now I can come back in with my brush and just add this kind of organic feel. This makes the art look less, clinical, right? A lot of the issues that folks had with digital art, especially back in its infancy, and I think even to some degree today, there are still comments that you'll see on the internet saying that digital art is too sterile. Doesn't look real, right? That's really up to the artist on how to convey and make something look natural. Let's add some little dots. We've got a nice toasty fire that's going on. You can almost hear the cackle. So for the bonus tip, we're going to talk about color locks. And I've talked about this in a few other videos, but since I'm dealing with color and dealing with coloring outside of the lines, I thought I'd share with you a technique that I use if I don't want to have black as my ink, right? So I can go to the checkerboard on my inks layer. And what I like to do is I like to pick a darker value, not black, but a darker value of, say, the red in this case. And I'll zoom in, and you can see that as I start to use my brush, it only affects, this color lock restricts my colors to whatever's visible on that layer. In this case, it's just my inks. And what the net effect of this is going to do is it's going to make that black seem less harsh. It'll actually give the fire a more elemental feel. Because I'm using black for, all the other outlines, this just makes it look a little bit more, transparent maybe. And you can alternate that too. You could go with some, dark oranges. You don't have to use the same value here. You do want to have a little bit of a contrast there to where people can kind of pick up on that. I might even go with a yellow, a darkish yellow. So if I stop and take a look at what I've done so far, if I just pull back here, you can see that the inks look lighter because of the values that I'm using. And again, that is, you can use this for elemental objects. You can also use it for, you can get a nice, really cell shaded look if you want to be able to control the color of your inks. Instead of switching the ink color as you ink, because that can take you out of your flow state, it might be a better idea just to go in, and I'll just make this brush super huge so I can cover more ground. And you can see that this kind of, I like that reddish color better than the yellow, so I think I'm going to go back on that. And it just gives this nice warmth to this particular piece. So give that a try. Color outside of the lines. You have to have a good reason for doing it, but I think this is a good one. It's like if you've got something organic that's constantly in a state of movement, like a fire or a flame is, you can get away with coloring outside of your lines. And there's other cases where you can also color outside of the lines too. If you're going for an old school printing look, where you're offsetting the colors from the inks to give it that old offset registration look, that's another way that I utilize that technique. Now, let's say that you've colored this in red and you've accidentally got an area now that is not what you want to color red. Well, no problem. You switch back to black and you just paint that over. So you can always touch up areas really quick. So this works on the ink layer. Remember, you have to actually turn on the color lock. Once you do, you have the ability of affecting the colors within your scene. So I hope you found this video to be useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you find value in some of the other videos that I've already made, I definitely appreciate a subscription. We've got about 683 people subscribed so far. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Let's see if we can get that to 1,000. And with that, I'll end by showing you what the finished piece looks like. So stick around until the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.